Good morning. Happy New Year. On behalf of the Seattle Betsuin Buddhist Temple, thank you for joining today's service. The temple is fortunate and grateful to have volunteer ministers' assistants who will be delivering today's Dharma messages. Please enjoy this service.
Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda.
He som buset mu
非尊無量法勉強無所主悪知識おう上不体死亡大子が将来みなそう仮説非尊苦毒寺修善無変了解水小逆前後小上者衛生主上小非公ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダー
Peace live as we talk, with kindness in our voice, embraced in Buddha's light. May peace, tranquility prevail throughout the world. Let peace live as we learn, with eyes that self-reflect, to always light our way. May peace, tranquility prevail throughout the world. Let peace live as we have, with rays of gratitude, connecting hearts and hands. May peace, tranquility
Namandabs, 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 namandabs. Good morning and Happy New Year. Thank you all for your support of Seattle Betsuin and of spreading Buddha Dharma in 2021. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Kotoshi mo yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Have you made your New Year's resolution? I resolve to do a better job of recycling, especially of recycling plastics. In the last 2 years, I've become more aware of my use of plastics. From our college students, I learned that plastic wrap, the wrap that we so freely roll out to cover our leftovers, our cookies, and cakes, contributes to the plastic waste problem. I learned from one of our young adults that fast fashion is a trend that harms our ecosystem, because fast fashion textiles are made with the same petroleum source as plastics. Most are not biodegradable, and various toxins are released into the environment by their production. I try to reduce, reuse, and recycle plastics, but I feel discouraged that, by myself, I am not doing enough. I found a passage from the larger Pure Land Sutra that helps me feel hopeful about how we can all together save our planet by striving to be more like Bodhisattva Dharmakara. Here is a passage in which Shakyamuni Buddha describes the qualities of Bodhisattva Dharmakara, who becomes Amida Buddha. Please listen carefully. He, Dharmakara, always embraced a heart of compassion and patience for all sentient beings, and was never deceptive or flattering, never slothful. Encouraging them to good acts, he led them to seek pure virtues. For the sake of beings everywhere, he was stalwart and fearless and never retreated. He benefited all the worlds and brought his great vow to perfect completion. This passage gives me hope that my small attempts in recycling plastics, together with everyone's help, will save our precious home, our planet Earth. This is my New Year's resolution, to be more aware of plastics, to continue to reduce, reuse, and recycle them, and to encourage others to do so. Please join me in Gassho to say the words which contain Dharmakara's vow to bring us all to the pure land of peace and joy, the words we know as the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabutsu, 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 Namandabutsu. Shinen akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. I wish you all a happy and healthy 2022.
Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Betsu.
Namo Amida Betsu.
Namo Amida Betsu. Namo Amida Betsu. Namanda. 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 My name is Rosalie May, and I'm a minister's assistant with Seattle Betsuin Buddhist Temple.
And I am Matt May, and I am also a minister's assistant with Seattle Betsuin.
Thank you for joining us on New Year's services. We have had quite a lot going on in the temple and in our world this past year, and we appreciate all of you staying with us for these online services. One of the lessons of Buddhism that has been most important to me during these difficult times has been the truth of impermanence. And as things sort of keep going and things have been really hard for me individually and for all of us, I'm sure, just knowing that everything is impermanent, that everything does change, that the pain that you might be feeling right now isn't going to last forever, has been a big source of comfort for me this past year.
And for me, the lesson has been about community. And first off, I want to say what I say every year, which is congratulations, you made it. And each of these years, it seems that it's harder than the last for that to be the case. We've had a lot of of health concerns with COVID, and the fact that we're talking about this again this year, where we were talking about it at the beginning of last year, sort of tells us where we are. But we've also seen our own community come together and holding vaccination clinics and thinking about our relationship to the people around us. And that teaches us some of the core principles of Buddhism. So as Reverend Rosalie mentioned, talking about impermanence, but also interdependence, that there are things that we do so that we can be a part of a larger community. And then within Jodo Shinshu, the principle of us not being perfect. We don't have perfect information about things. There were things like washing our hands last year. That was the thing that was going to get us out of all of this. And then we know that isn't the case. And that we have to recognize that we have things to learn in order to be better citizens and better to the people that are around us. So I think that it's important for us at this time of year to realize that we are part of a larger ecosystem, and that we all depend on one another. And for us to get back to where we were before the pandemic, where everyone is in the temple together, everybody is socializing and having Bonodori, the best thing that we can do individually is to think about the people around us. So at this time, I'd like to wish you all well, physically and mentally well, and for us to come together as a community over the next year.
And as we look towards the new year, we are in this season where we are constantly being bombarded with this messaging of New Year's resolutions and of how I can be better next year. And it can sometimes feel as if the underlying message of those messages is that you are not good enough. You will only be good enough if you do these 10 things. And it can be a very difficult time of year for a lot of people. And that brings me to one of the other things that I deeply appreciate about Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, and that is the idea that Amida Buddha accepts us all as we are right now, right here. We don't have to do anything to be good enough for Amida Buddha. We already are good enough as we are. And I carry that thought with me throughout the changing of the years.
And so with that, we would like to wish you a great and happy 2022, and we look forward to continuing with the temple and hopefully once again joining you in person in the next year. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namanda, 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 namanda.
Hello and Happy New Year. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. I don't normally say this, but I'm not really sorry to bid farewell to 2021. It's truly been a roller coaster of a year for me, both personally and pandemically. I'm definitely looking forward to starting afresh in 2022. I'd imagine many of you feel the same. And I'm crossing my fingers that the temple will be able to reopen again. In fact, as time passes, I find myself missing the real, solid, non-virtual temple space more and more. I miss the smell as you walk in and seeing all the old pictures on the walls and wondering about what those people's lives were like. I miss chanting with everyone and the feeling that my weak voice is lifted up by the strength of the other voices. I miss the beauty of the Naijin and even the weak tea and awkward silences of Dharma exchange. I read a passage in the book that we're reading for our book study group that really drove this point home for me. The book is called A Life of Awakening, The Heart of the Shin Buddhist Path. And in it, the author Shigaraki Sensei quotes a passage by a Jodo Shinshu priest by the name of Shichiri Gojun, who lived during the Meiji period. He wrote, "Wandering aimlessly over train tracks will not allow us to board the train. If we want to reach our destination, we should go to the train station. There we should buy a ticket and board the train." I'm not sure what point Gojun Sensei was trying to make at the time, but I immediately saw the train station as our temple. Over the past year, clicking on links on the internet or meandering through Buddhist writings feels very much like wandering around on train tracks without a clear destination. All of these expedient means have filled up our time during this period of isolation, but I don't know that they can take the place of going to the actual train station. A station is where we meet and all buy tickets so that we can go together to our destination. So in this New Year's message, I would like to express my sincere wish that we will be able to continue our journey together in the coming year. Please join me in Gasho. Wandering aimlessly over train tracks will not allow us to board the train. If we want to reach our destination, we should go to the train station. There we should buy a ticket and board the train. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Happy New Year.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. I hope everybody is doing well, staying safe, and we're able to spend some time with their families this holiday season, like I was. I'm actually in Utah right now, and it's funny, you guys in Seattle have more snow than we have here. I will keep my greetings short because I'm actually recovering from a cold. Don't worry, it wasn't COVID. My tests came back negative, but I do want to stress the importance of getting tested if you have any symptoms or anything. It's really difficult to tell the difference between the flu or the cold or COVID, so please get tested if you're feeling ill at all. In terms of New Year's, we are still planning to have a New Year's party, a temple New Year's party. It will be virtual like last year with this Omicron variant going around, but it is still in the works. It'll be pushed back till February. I'm not sure if any announcements have been made yet, but be prepared to hear something soon. We're trying to plan a great program for everyone, and hopefully we can celebrate our new year with the temple like we typically do every year. So with that, Happy New Year's, everyone, and looking forward to seeing everyone hopefully in person during this next year.
Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Betsuin, Namo Amida Betsuin, Namo Amida Betsuin, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. As we close out 2021 and begin the new year, I always find it a good time to reflect on the many events that took place throughout the year, both joyful and sad events, as well as look forward to the many things that will come in the new year. I've never been one to make New Year's resolutions. Every time I try to make one, I usually end up forgetting it halfway through the year. Although I do not make New Year's resolutions, I do take time to reconnect with the Buddha Dharma. I'm not sure what it is about the new year, but I always find myself listening to the Dharma even more closely. There are so many various services held throughout the end of December and in January. To name a few, Joya-e, Gantane, and Honko. So although I do not make a New Year's resolution, I think that re-engaging and appreciating the Nembutsu teaching is sort of my New Year's resolution. We've been through a lot this past year. I hope that everyone is able to stay connected and engaged with the many temple offerings held virtually. Perhaps make it a goal this year to attend a temple event that you may not usually attend. Dharma exchange, book study group, Hoonko seminar, weekday live streaming services. The list goes on and on. Although we cannot be together in person, there are many ways to stay connected virtually, not just at our temple, but all across the web. So thank you for joining today's Sunday service, and I hope you stay healthy and well in 2022. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, namanda, namanda.
The Seattle Betsuin Buddhist Temple appreciates you joining today's service. If you missed the Joye or New Year's Eve service or the New Year's Day live stream service, no worries. You can still view them on the Betsuin's YouTube channel. Thank you to Rinban Katsuya Kusunoki, Connor McKinney, Minister's Assistant Alex Sakamoto, Reverend Irene Goto, Reverend Rosalie May, Reverend Matt May, Minister's Assistant Leonora Clark, Minister's Assistant Jason Yokoyama, Kemi Nakabayashi, Takeo Kudo, Kerry Kawamoto of the Mililani Honganji, Naho Umatani of the Mo'ili Honganji, Eli Mizushima and Koichi Mizushima from the Sacramento Betsuin, Zora Ueda Hale and Tony Hale from the Berkeley Buddhist Temple, Nina Tomito Kato, Gail Suzaka, and Tyler Moriguchi for producing and presenting today's service. Please see the member email news blast, visit the temple's website at seattlebetsuin.com, subscribe to the Betsuin's YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook for information on events, services, and classes within the temple and Jodo Shinshu community. The Seattle Betsuin encourages you to invite your family and friends to join us in our year of celebrating the temple's 120th anniversary. Your membership, donations, and dana to the Seattle Betsuin are appreciated. Your gifts allow the temple to continue bringing the Dharma to you at home. May you be touched by Amida Buddha's compassion. Thank you. Greetings from the Seattle Betsuin Buddhist Temple. As the Betsuin transitions from 2021 into 2022, bringing the Dharma to you in a safe environment is our #1 priority. The Dharma Renewal Committee, which oversees the health of the staff, volunteers, and Sangha, is constantly monitoring local and national COVID guidelines. With the rising cases of infections, the Betsuin will be closed to indoor gatherings, events, and meetings until further notice. Services, events, and classes will continue to be offered online via YouTube and Zoom. If you wish to contact a member of the temple's leadership team, please leave a message with the Betsuin office. In-person appointments will no longer be available. Thank you for your patience and understanding.
シアトル別院のご門徒の皆様、ご縁のある皆様、こんにちは。2021年も終わり、新しい年2022年を迎えました。皆様いかがお過ごしでしょうか。シアトル別院では今年も皆様の健康と安全を第一に考慮しながら、お念仏の見教えをお届けしてまいります。シアトル別院にはコロナ禍の中でアメリカ国内や地元の状況を踏まえ、どのように安全に留意しながら寺院活動を行っていくかを考えるダルマリニューアルコミッティというのがあります。 そこで話し合われた結果、このところのコロナウイルス感染者の急増の状況を踏まえ、しばらくの間、お寺の建物内での法要、ミーティングなど、人が集まってのイベントを再び中止することにいたしました。YouTube や Zoom などを使ってのオンラインでの活動は続けてまいります。お寺の状況やコロナ禍でのお寺の最新のガイドラインなどは、ウィークリー e ニュースやニュースレターなどでお知らせいたします。もしご質問等ございましたら、いつでもシアトル別院までご連絡ください。もうしばらくご不便をおかけいたします。ご了承ください。状況が改善し、皆様とお寺でお念仏の見教えを共に聞かせていただける日を楽しみにいたしております。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナマンダブ、ナマンダブ。